Good morning, viewers. This is Dantini Jennifer, EGNT Network News, bringing you the latest developments across the Evangelical Church within all, where Christ is preached, lives are transformed, communities are impacted. Now, the headlines. These are the major stories we are tracking to you this morning. EGNT SC locks horns with Ahmadiyya United in their first match. EGNT FC battles Ekwa Garki 2 Football Club in a tough second match. Great joy as the family of Dan Asebe Pakachi welcomes a new baby. Garki DCC Sports Week 2025 comes to a colorful close today. Ekwa launches new missionary outreach across Nigeria. Reflections in exclusive interviews. Ekwa Garki 2, Ekwa Good News Ahmadiyya, and Ekwa Garki New Town. Ekwa Choir International Concert Competition 2025. Ekwa Youth Champion the Gospel through Sports Evangelism. Now the news in details. Community joy in newborn baby. In community news, there is a joy in the family of Mr. and Mrs. Dan Asebe Pakachi as they welcome a bouncing baby boy this weekend. We at the EGNT Network News join well wishers in congratulating the family. ECWA has launched a fresh wave of missionary activities across Nigeria. Over 150 missionaries have been deployed this quarter, reaching both rural and urban centers. At the recent General Church Council in Jos, ECWA leaders reaffirmed holiness and evangelism as the heartbeat of the church. The council also unveiled plans for a national prayer summit in Abuja later this year. ECWA choirs prepare for the International Choir Competition in Kaduna from 4th to 6th September 2025. Locally, the Garki DCC choir and some of our members will be going also to partake in the program with their renditions. Now on the football news. In football, EGNT FC began their campaign against Ahmadiyya United before taking on Ekwa Garki 2 Football Club in a thrilling contest. Both matches were fiercely contested with fans filling the Apo resettlements, mini stadium, and games were more than just competition. They became avenues for testimony, prayer, and evangelism. So, in today's coverage, we bring you a special interview with Reverend Emmanuel Jongre, the leading pastor of Ekwa Garki New Town. He emphasized the importance of sport in our local churches and how it can serve as an effective tool for evangelism. He also said this event is more than football, it is fellowship, evangelism, and community building. Now, let's listen.
The sports was organized in order to bring the members together and to foster unity, to foster our fellowship together, and also to exercise our bodies. Very important to our health. This year is actually encouraging. I would say this is the first time since I came to this church having youth, or I would say the whole church like that, coming out to have sports activity as that in that capacity. And I want to tell you, it's very important. It's very good. It's encouraging because members came out. They were cheering the players, and also the players too. There are those that for long I've not seen in the church, but they were there. So it's very important. I want to say the church need to come in and take hold of sports activities in order to foster unity and fellowship. It's very important that we engage in sports. The sport is universal.
Yeah.
It can be attended by anyone, so everyone. So if we use sports, we will reach out to the unsafe. We will reach out to those that are even believers and they are backslided,
Yes, sir.
yeah, they will come. And at least it makes the church to be fun and not, what will I say, not stagnant and not boring. At least people are doing sporting activities. My prayer is that we go beyond just asking people to come and do sport, where we will be deliberate about it, more deliberate. What I mean by that is that we have to be more intentional by planning and also engaging our resources into it. It's not bad for the church to set aside resources to see that we grow sport. Sport is expensive, so but it's worth it because if that will bring the salvation of even one soul, it's good we do it. So that is it. That's my expectation. It's going to go far. It will go far. It will really bring so many, not only the unbelievers or those that have not known Christ, but even the churches. It will bring them together. There will be no time for gossiping and no time for fighting and all that, or some frictions in the churches. We will spend more of our time doing something that will bring unite us. So sport will bring that. Right, and I'm so happy you having me, Reverend Emmanuel John Gray, the senior pastor Ekwa Derki Newtown. Thank you.
We also had a chance to sit down with Reverend Elisha Petrus, the leading pastor of Ekwa Good News Akmajaya, who shared powerful insights on why sports should be embraced in our churches, also as a means of reaching out with the gospel. He further said, "We are using sports as a tool to reach young people with the gospel, and we are seeing great impact." Here's the conversation.
Yes, I'm not just here to play for pleasure, for money, but I am here to play equally for the kingdom of God. So then we use the avenue to evangelize to other people that have not come to know God yet. I want to say my words of encouragement to my football team is that they should keep the tempo on. They should keep it on. The sky is their limit. Or some will say sky is just the beginning. Yeah, I want to see that if they continue with this dedication, they are going to do beyond expectation. So to the DCC, to the LCC, if we're able to mobilize our youth to see life from a different perspective, and the church is willing to support them, I want to believe that our youth will go far. So to me, I have a strong belief that Ekwa youth are going to go very, very far. Looking at the dream that our fathers have laid as a foundation. Ekwa is working on Ekwa Academy, that is Sport Academy. So football academy is coming up in Ekwa. By this, we'll be able to sell our members to the world. And as they go with the purpose of evangelism. So in conclusion, I want to say, there is need for the church members to understand that there is a paradigm shift. And hence there's a paradigm shift. We, the church, we cannot sit down and fold our hands. There is need we come up together, sponsor these young people, so that through them, evangelism will be met. The goal of evangelism will be met through their activities, through their ambassadorial role as the ambassadors of Jesus Christ. So we are not sending professionals out, but we are sending the ambassadors out to represent Jesus Christ in the world of sport. So through this, we know it involves money, and that is why we are charging our members to be willing to sacrifice so that our youth can proceed and progress in life and in the work of evangelism. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Reverend Beatrice Elijah, the pastor of Ekwa Good News at Nigeria.
Sport and evangelism are two words that might seem different, but when brought together, it can make a big impact. Again, we spoke with Pastor Johanna Samuel, the associate pastor of Ekwa Church Gakitu, who explained why local churches should adopt sports as a tool for evangelism.
My name remains Johanna Samuel Shokonikaza. the associate pastor of this local assembly. In regards to the significance of the participation of ECWA Garki in the Garki DCC Sport Week cannot be overemphasized, considering the position of the church. Just as at the GCC level, the DCCs cannot be numbered without mentioning Garki DCC. So also the LCCs in the Garki DCC cannot be mentioned without that of the Garki LCC. And the LCs under the Garki LCC will not be complete without mentioning the Garki 2. So Garki 2 is a mother figure when it has to do with the local churches around this vicinity. And so its integral position is so important and significant that it comes with encouragement, it comes with support to ensure that the week is duly observed. It's just like a father in a house or a mother who set out on activities for the children and never participate in. Of course, the children, even if they will not be serious at it. But if the father or the mother figure is involved, every other person or every other member of the family will be involved. So that is the position of ECWA Garki. In a congregation like ours, where the larger percentage or the larger percent of the membership has to do with youth, when we talk about sport, it means a lot to us because it is an avenue of harmonizing or harnessing the youth together. In short, in recent times, if there is any other thing that can easily put the youth together across their divides of belief and their affiliation, it has to do with sport. Church. By my studies and also discovery of recent time, sport is the only thing that does not have it's not divided by tribal or religious sentiment. So it is a thing that brings people together irrespective of your affiliation. So for my congregation, where the larger percent of members are youth, as I've said earlier, when it has to do with sport, it's an avenue where we can easily reach out to the youth. And I will tell you that the game of that day gave me a personal opportunity to meet with some of the members of my congregation that I've not been able to meet with since my assumption as pastor in this local assembly. And so there was a kind of relationships being established. There was strengthening of bond, and again, on Monday was our youth fellowship, and yesterday was the Bible study of the church. And I want to tell you that there were faces yesterday that I saw during the Bible studies who came around as the result of their response to the match we hosted within the weekend. And so there are a lot of, again, aside of the physical, there are also spiritual impact on the life of the youth. You see, Colossians chapter 2, verse 23 tells us to, whatsoever we do, we should do it as unto the Lord. In other words, we should do it to the glory of God. And so, whether in the pitch or outside the pitch, it is required that as Christ ambassador, wherever you find yourself, you are representing Christ. As such, the values of self-control, discipline, gentleness, which are all embedded in the fruit of the Spirit, are expected to be exhibited on the field of play. Also in Philippians chapter 2, from verse 5, we are asked to have the same mindset like that of Christ. So as Christ ambassador, wherever we go, whether with jersey or not, and on the pitch or not, we're expected to live as Christ would have. In short, there is a saying that said, WWJD, I don't know if you have heard of it before. What it simply means, what would Jesus do? And so in every situation you find yourself, most especially in the game of sport, where it comes with pressure, it comes with a lot of demand, you must not forget this, that in every situation, you must ask yourself, if it was Jesus, what would he do? So with that response, you will be able to, control yourself and do that, and with God's name alone will be glorified. As I've said earlier, sport is one thing that opens door for different set of individuals to come together, irrespective of your tribal affiliation, religious affiliation, and the likes. And so, when it has to do with EQUA, you will discover that sport can be used to harness us together. For the fact that we bear the same name as EQUA, yet if you go inwardly, you will discover that sometimes there are divides, probably based on location, zone, and the likes. But then sport can be used to harness all of this by putting us together through sport or different games that, and this impact will not only stay with us, it also affect the larger society when they're able to see that we live together, we coexist together in harmony and unity, just as we are instructed to. Just like I mentioned of the youth fellowship on Monday, the Bible study yesterday, we had some faces that have been absent all this while from studies and other engagement. But by the reason or by the virtue of this engagement we had, most of them came around, to fully participate and do one or two things in the church. So there is, and I'm sure more is still on its way if proper engagement, or proper measures are put in place. Before now, there have been testimonies on how sport have helped, in bringing people together, and also it has been used as avenue for evangelism, winning souls, and so at this point that we are beyond the field, what is more important is that the ability to, to impart these younger ones when they are able to be put together, when they come together, you're able to reach out to them. Whatever you plant in them is what they take out. Sincerely, I think we still have a lot to go and it has to do with sport at the DCC level. I think over the years now, the focus has just been on football, but sports has a lot beyond football. And I even say that to an extent, football is limited, or is a game that only those who are energetic can participate. And so, to an extent, it's like the older generation and maybe those who are just coming up may not be able to have opportunity to participate in. So, I would suggest, I would love to see that the sport week is more engaged with different varieties of sports, ranging from the indoor and the outdoor, where all age groups can be carried along, the men, the youth, the children, all of them. There are so many sports that can accommodate them, and if we open this scope, we will give opportunity to have more inclusiveness of members. But like that of the one we had on Sunday, if you check around very well, you will discover that all those that came around fell under the bracket of the youth.
Yeah.
Because some fields we don't have much to do in that place. But then if we have other sports, we have the handball, we have the badminton, we have this rag race, sack race, we have the egg race, we have chess, we have ludo, all of these things can be put together just to ensure that. So once the scope is opened, we will have more inclusiveness, we will have more involvement coming from the members. My last word will be, as we continue our Christian journey, the Bible tells us in 3 John now, verse 2, Pastor John was speaking, and he did say that, it was his prayer for Gaius that even as he's prospering spiritually, he should also prosper health-wise. So in other words, there is place for physical prosperity, and there is also place for spiritual prosperity. And these are very important even as we journey. It is good that we are healthy physically. It is also good that we are healthy spiritually. And so there is need for us to strike the balance even as we journey. Our relationship with God, our relationship with people, in ensuring, virtually evangelism itself, it requires physical strength to be able to, involve the evangelism. And so we need to maintain our physical health and also need to maintain our spiritual health. God bless you all. God bless the EQUA family, and God bless the entire Christendom. Thank you.
Indeed, powerful words from our pastors. Our youth are excited, competing on the field remind us of unity in Christ. Win or lose, the testimony is that Jesus is lifted high. This event has strengthened our bonds with other Equa congregation. It has been a refreshing experience. The sport week is not just entertainment, but also discipline. Young people are learning teamwork, discipline, and most importantly, how to reflect Christ both on and off the field. Truly, the field has become a pulpit. Now, the other updates. Equa schools nationwide record academic excellence at graduation ceremonies. Women Fellowship expand empowerment program for widows and rural women. Equa leaders call for peaceful coexistence as part of gospel witness. And that wraps up the EGNT network news. Remember, the church is not just a building, it is a family living on mission. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, I am Destiny Jennifer, wishing you peace and blessing.